This stuff goes so fast. Before we turn around, it's going to be March. And before we turn around, it'll be April. Still playing, hopefully. That's how it is.
It ain't going fast enough for Howie. I can tell you that much right now.
Very slow.
Welcome to the Red and Blue Review. Gupper and the gang talking basketball today, the red and blue variety. Say hello to the master of all that is Planet Blue, Darrell Bird of the Cat's Paws.
Thank you, sir. And I'm trying to get this straight in my mind. Louisville landed 2 really good football recruits at the All-American Bowl and lost at home in the Big East again to a very bad team. Confirming what all UK fans have known forever, Louisville is a football school.
Oh, boy. That's a low blow right there. And here's a guy who knows all about that.
Yeah.
Howie Lindsay of the Louisville Sports Report.
You know, I was watching that U.S. Army All-American game, and I didn't see anybody commit to Kentucky. No, but from Louisville's standpoint, it was very slow going against Notre Dame. And, you know, we've checked the records, and we can't find a Big East home loss worse than Notre Dame's 129th in the RPI. That's how bad it was Saturday.
Yeah, and I did not know this. Notre Dame had not won in this state since 1958.
Oh!
Wow.
58?
Yeah. I'm full of all kinds of informative facts, which we'll get into right now in our lightning round. Shall I talk like this the rest of the show? I think not. Lightning round brought to you by Kentucky Corner. Locations from one end of the Bluegrass to the other, including Louisville and E-Town, and on your corner at KentuckyCornerOnline.com. Well, who's hot? I think for the first time this year, Terrence Jones. And you remember right after that Arkansas-Little Rock win, Kentucky's win over Arkansas-Little Rock, Cal said in about 2 weeks, Terrence would be back to normal. It took about 4 days.
But I told him after the game, now you work even harder than you've been working. I said, do you want to go back to where you are? He goes, no. No, you better work harder than you have been working. I'm telling you, he did the stuff that he's done in the past, and now he builds on this. This isn't like, okay, now I back up and I go put my toes up and eat Cheetos. Now I'm going to go work harder. I'm going to spend more time. I'm going to go harder. I'm going to lift. I'm going to spend extra time shooting. I'm not going back to where I was.
Just as we were getting ready to rename it the Terrence Jones Memorial, who's not every single week, here this comes out of nowhere. And it's funny to watch Terrence trying to come back from that injured finger. When he finally went up and dunked the ball with full authority and realized it didn't break, it didn't hurt, I'm going to be okay, the light came on, and he took off from there and hit 8 out of 8 shots before he finally missed a three-pointer at the buzzer, which was silly to even take. He was on course for a perfect game from the field, and he looked so much like the old Terrence Jones. The Terrence Jones, frankly, they have to have if they're going to get as far as they think they are.
Now, what I heard in that bite, tell me if I'm wrong, it sounded to me like what Cal was saying is that maybe Terrence was not working that hard since the summer. Is that the deal?
Remember, he came on so fast to start the year. He played really well, and then the Indiana game was such a disaster. And something went on there, and he was really struggling both mentally and with the injury to come back and to play as well as he should, and it just took him longer than you think it would take most people. That's just his personality, but once you got him revved up, he's going.
Who's out at the University of Louisville is that football recruiting. The Cards got a huge boost over the weekend when 2 major high school commitments, Nick Dawson and Keith Brown, both committed to the Cards on national TV.
And that would be with Nick Dawson, the linebacker out of Charlotte, North Carolina. Now, he got to go to the Belt Bowl, which was in Charlotte, and watch Louisville play NC State. That was kind of strange for him, but we're here with the whole family. Dad Jacques, Aunt Sonia, so it's down to Louisville, Clemson, NC State. Do you stay home or do you go to Louisville? Which is it going to be?
I'm going to go back home to my home state.
To the Louisville Cardinals. And Brown, the linebacker out of Miami with 4.5 speed. Mom LaQuanda here. Stepdad Morris is here. Now, he was committed to Miami for a while. The coach left. Illinois for a while. The coach left. So now it's open. Illinois, Miami, Louisville. Keith, who's it going to be?
I want to take my talents to the University of Louisville.
There you go. Back-to-back commitments for Louisville. Charlie Strong showing why he's one of the best recruiters in the country.
Take my talents. I'm going to take my
That
talents.
is fantastic.
I love it. LeBron has coined that phrase, and I think after that, they had like 12 commitments on the show, and probably 6 or 8 of them all said, I'm going to take my talents to Illinois, or you know, I love that phrase. But that is big-time news for Louisville. Both of them linebackers, which is a huge position of need for Louisville. And if you look at it, they're both inside linebackers, and their ratings are number 4 and number 6 in the country. So in terms of ratings, the only school in the country that has better inside linebackers now is Alabama. Wow. That's pretty good news for Louisville.
That's good company.
Yeah, definitely. So this boosts their class about 20 spots by itself. I think it's about 18 spots, and takes a decent recruiting class to a very good recruiting class.
Now that Darrell has moved Terrence Jones off the hot seat, or the who's not hot seat, as it were, it's made room for Darius Miller. I'm telling you, if Darius Miller had as much intensity as he has talent, he'd be the All-American on this team.
But every once in a while, that's what he is. Just a passive. They trap, he loses it, has open shots, doesn't take them, drives to pass instead of being strong and score. And he wants to do well. He's not like out there like he doesn't care. It's just there's something that switches on and off with him. And when it's on, he's as good as anybody in the country. And when it's off, oh my goodness.
It's funny, they presented him a game ball before the start of the game in South Carolina for making the 1,000-point club. And the radio was going, I was afraid they were going to take points away and give the ball back. It was just not a good day for him. But Calipari, to Calipari's credit, when he said that, he immediately said, now remember, the reason we made the Final Four last year is because of Darius Miller. He was the MVP of the SEC tournament. That's how good he can be when he puts his mind to it. So it's on, it's off, and after 4 years, I think we're just going to have to live with it.
What's not hot for Louisville is that half-court offense. You know, Notre Dame took a gamble, slow down the Cards. That's the best way to beat them. Well, it worked, but Ricky says it wasn't the pace of the game that decided the game.
That nobody speeds them up if they don't want. They're too good a passing team. If you gamble like Russ did like that, that's what's going to happen. You got to stay solid and play at the pace. We're capable of playing pace. We've won about 8 games this year at a low pace, so we're capable of playing that.
Here's the thing. Yes, I'll agree with Rick Pitino that there were defensive mistakes, like Russ Smith's swipe at the ball kind of thing. But I think it has to come back to offense. When you hold a team to 31% shooting, granted they hit some free throws, but 31% shooting, you should win that game. And you know, we saw it against Kentucky as well. Kentucky shot a low percentage, hit a whole bunch of free throws. So some of it is Louisville's fouling too much. The other part of it is Louisville's just not passing well enough in half-court offense to get the job done.
Now, Howie, I know I'm the dumbest guy here, which is saying something considering this august panel, but I don't understand why they say that it's the pace of the game. Louisville has struggled scoring 60 all year. What do you mean it's the pace of the game? I don't get that.
That's one thing, too, that I'll agree with Rick Pitino. In another bite, he said, you know, we've won games in the 60s before. That's not the big deal. But I think it's more execution. You know, if you're going to score in the 50s and 60s, every possession matters. Yeah. And Louisville just had a whole bunch of possessions that just came up empty.
Well, I tell you what I am hearing. I've actually talked to Louisville fans they told me last night they're done with this team. They don't like the pace of play. They're disappointed over the start of the season. There are some issues that this program is starting to have.
Tubby ball.
Exactly.
Oh, no, it's not that bad
it's
yet.
It's starting to feel like Tubby ball. Okay, well, the buzz at the University of Kentucky is about Marcus Teague. Now, don't look now, but he's starting to get a little bit better as they start to get into the most important stretch of the season.
And I'm trying to get him to play that perfect game. And let me say this. It's really funny. You guys, here he is. He's a freshman. He's played in 16 college games, 15 up until this game. And because he wasn't playing perfect, he had 4.5 assists to 3 turnovers. That ain't bad. He's a good free throw shooter. He stops on defense, which is typical of a freshman, and he's playing in Kentucky for the second-ranked team in the country that probably could easily be undefeated, and everybody's saying he's just a disappointment. What are you talking about? The kid is doing fine. Now, I expect more out of him, but you shouldn't. I'm coaching him. I mean, he is doing fine.
It's going to be really interesting to see if this is starting point. If we look back at the end of the year and say, well, the light really went on for Marcus Teague when SEC play got underway. Season high, career high, 17 points, drove the lane time after time after time, which was classic dribble drive stuff that Calipari loves. And Cal applauded every single time Marcus drove the lane and scored. And it's taken him forever. And he says, I'm trying to listen to Coach, listen to what he says, not how he says it. And I think we've talked on the show a lot. He wears his emotion on his sleeves. Early in the year, when he was getting yelled at, he didn't like it. He didn't take it real well. He's getting past that. He's finally understanding, okay, maybe I should listen to Coach. And
I wish Cal would quit telling the fans and the media what not to be concerned about. Just coach your team. Let us second guess you. That's what we do. The buzz at the University of Louisville is Peyton Siva in his final drive. You know, he pulled it off to beat Vandy. He could not pull off the final drive to beat Notre Dame.
Well, it worked when they had, I'm going to say his name, number 33, in the game, Brockhammer. We're trying to go at him in the last play of the game. Obviously, with Gorky out, we don't have a lot of guys that can put it on the floor. Kyle's not a floor guy. Chris not a floor guy. Russ was not having. We would have run something probably for Russ to come off the screen, but he wasn't having a good night, so we put it in Peyton's hands.
It's one of those games, you get a call, and then, for overtime, I thought, Dude was in the restricted area and tried to go for a layup, and, I guess not.
It has worked so many times before. You see him right there at the top. This is the old Edgar Sosa play. They've ran it so many times before. They usually either get a free layup or a foul. A foul is called. In this case, most Louisville fans believe that a foul should have been called on at least one of those two drives, either that one or the previous one. There's some speculation about where his feet were on that drive. There's some speculation about whether or not they moved into the block call on the other drive. Either way, whatever you think, it didn't work. And so Louisville's got to find a different option from there. I think it has worked so many times that people scout it effectively. They know what's coming. And so what they've got to do in the future is essentially have him drive part of the way and then kick it out to somebody.
Yeah.
I think that they've got to give another option, so teams have to respect it.
And I think turning his body in the lane going, I think that hurts him in the eyes of the officials too, because it makes it look like the defenders have position. When you're turning away from the defenders, it looks like maybe the defenders have their spot. Howie, let me ask you about this. Off of our Red and Blue Crew Facebook page, Kedrick Hinton has this suggestion. I'll ask you about it. Coach P needs to get his fire back because it seems like he lacks the positive energy and the no-nonsense approach he used to have. What do you think about that?
Well, I think it's a load of baloney, first of all. Because the no-nonsense approach that he used to have, I've seen practices, I've seen their preparation. If anything, there's a no-nonsense approach. I mean, that's who he is. It's so ingrained in him. Now, you may have a point on the positive energy. I think there are a lot of people who believe that the constant this guy's doing this wrong, this wrong, this wrong, this wrong, that really wears on players. So I think maybe part of that's right. But the thing about that he's lost his fire or no-nonsense approach, they clearly have not been around any kind of a practice or workout because the guy's screaming up and down the court.
Hey, let me tell you about something really cool that the three of us are going to be involved in. It's called the Red and Blue Polar Plunge to benefit Special Olympics of Kentucky. These two guys are going to take the plunge. Go to the SOKY.org website and you can make a donation if you're a Kentucky fan, Louisville fan, you want to see Daryl and Howie jumping into some freezing cold water to benefit the athletes of Special Olympics. Please go to SOKY.org and make sure you help Howie and Daryl go freezing for a reason. Well, the Kentucky basketball team has a better running attack than does the football team. We'll talk about that after Daryl tells us about the Cat's Paws edition this week.
I do appreciate it, sir. Again, a see it before you can buy it preview of the cover. Cats win. How about that? Cats win SEC opener. Tons of information from that game. Also previews of upcoming game Auburn and rival Tennessee this coming weekend. Available 800-641-3302.
Have you driven a Ford lately? Well, stop by Allstate Ford and test drive a new Explorer or F-150. Or visit us online at allstatetrucks.com. Allstate Ford, on the Waterson at Poplar Level Road.
If you're like me, you're dreading the thought of higher energy costs this season. That's why I call my friends at Doug Jones Home Improvement, who's been doing quality work at a fair price for over 40 years. Doug Jones Home Improvement offers maintenance-free replacement windows, insulated vinyl siding, and airtight entry doors. They're priced fairly with no high-pressure sales tactics or hidden fees. Doug Jones Home Improvement prides itself on keeping the weather outside while keeping you comfortable inside. For a free estimate, call us at 366-0291.
When you need a truck, Bachman Chevrolet is your truck headquarters. I'm Teresa Bachman. Even during our construction, we have more trucks than any other dealer. Silverado, Colorado, Tahoe, or Suburban, Bachman is your #1 Chevrolet truck dealer. Nobody beats Bachman's price or selection on any Chevrolet, including Traverse and Equinox. Chevrolet has what you need, and Bachman Chevrolet has what you want. Bachman makes the difference.
Kentucky Corner is giving UK fans a new cheer this season.
Pink!
Think Power Pink when you dress Big Blue this season. Kentucky Corner is the only place to find hot new colors and styles the Big Blue Nation craves.
Polka dot!
Kentucky Corner is in Louisville, Lexington, Ashland, Florence, E-Town, Clarksville, Paducah, and with Kentucky Corner Online, there's a Kentucky Corner on your corner.
Join the club at Sam Swope Auto Group. When you service a vehicle at any Sam Swope dealership, you automatically become a Service VIP Rewards member. You get member pricing on parts and service, lost key return, and emergency roadside assistance. Plus, you can earn points that qualify you for discounts on your next vehicle purchase, up to $2,500. The best part is becoming a member is free. Become a member today at any Sam Swope dealership. Nobody walks away because everybody saves.
The 2012 Bluegrass Golf Tour Card is available now. Play 8 great courses for one amazing price. Call 502-964-2121 or go to shop21live.com to get yours now. Hurry, they won't last long.
I will say this, and I don't have any issue saying it. If there's a better layup shooting point guard in the country, I want to see him.
Is that a compliment?
I think it is.
It's like saying the thing about Josh Harrelson last week. He's most dangerous a foot from the basket.
Yeah,
right, same kind of deal. Got a lot to talk about in our Game Time storylines. Hey, one of the reasons Marcus Teague is starting to play better is because he's finally starting to listen to Cal.
It's hard to listen to how you have to play and let someone present you, because you want to present yourself, because you've always done it that way. I'm going to do whatever I want to do. This is how I played. And yeah, but everybody's saying you shouldn't be playing. Now they think you should be coming off the bench. Do you want them to keep saying that, or do you want to listen to me? Let me tell you how we're going to present you. Some guys argue that. I haven't had many. They look at it and say, you know what, if I listen to them, it works out well. It's worked out for everybody else, so maybe I should listen to them. They also know I'm about them. It's not about me. It's about them. So why wouldn't you listen to me? You're not smart? Must not be very smart, because this is about you, and I'm trying to help you, and you're going the other way and then hurting yourself. So most guys will listen, and this team has listened.
Welcome to coaching session every single year. And of course, he has nobody to blame but himself. You're going to recruit the best class out there. They're going to all leave, and you're going to start all over again. And basically, he's parenting a bunch of teenagers. He's got 5 to 10, 18-year-olds in his house, and they kind of want to do it the way they want. And eventually, they learn that, hey, maybe Dad's not so dumb after all. And they figure it out, and they start doing it his way. And they all get drafted in the first round, and everybody's happy.
Every game has an end-of-game situation unless you're Louisville, which against Notre Dame, they had 3 end-of-game situations, regulation and the 2 overtimes.
Double overtime game, and we're very disappointed. Disappointed because I don't mind if a team makes shots, but when you lose a game, coming out of when we had a 3-point lead, we want to do 2 things. Not let them attempt a 3, and then when we had the ball back, we said anything but an offensive foul, and we did both things. We gave up a 3, and those were the 2 instructions, and we knocked the guy over.
You know, I think it's funny that actually both Cal and Pitino were essentially saying the same thing.
Yeah.
The guys have got to listen in the huddle. And essentially this is what Rick Pitino did. Brought the guys together, said, okay, listen, we can't give up a 3, and you can't offensive foul. What do they do? Gave up a 3 and had an offensive foul at the other end. I mean, literally, that's exactly what they did. Not 20 seconds later after he just said it in the huddle. You know, after the game, we were talking to some of the players about, you know, what went wrong in regulation, what went wrong in overtime. And Chris Smith just said it. We got guys who aren't listening to the right people. They aren't listening to Coach Pitino when he's in the huddle. That's a little scary.
Howie, the more experience you get as a parent, the less that will shock you. One of our other Game Time storyline situations is, hey, Joker, pay attention. Terrence, Cal, and the Cats have installed a running attack.
We started doing 3-second runs for our team. They get on the baseline, they have 3 seconds to get the foul line. You know how fast you have to run? And you know what I said? That's how you run in the game. Well, it's hard when my thumbs are up and I'm kind of doing it like that to get 3. No, you can't. You're just, eyes are open and you're flying. You got 3 seconds to get, if you don't make it, we go again. Now, we did that 3 or 4 different practices. Now, you saw him fly up and down that court today. It changes your mentality. You know what? Your finger doesn't hurt so much anymore. You're playing so hard. You're mixing it up. You're going after it. When you run that fast and you try to play that hard, you'll be aggressive offensively. When you are passive on defense and passive going for balls, and you don't want to mix it up. There's no possible way you can be aggressive offensively. It doesn't work that way. Your body doesn't switch on one end and switch tougher on the other end and go soft on it. It doesn't. You're either always tough or you're always soft.
Somewhere there's a warehouse that has Calipari's bag of tricks, and I want to find that. Last year, remember, he didn't think they were tough enough, so he brought out the boxing gloves. This year, well, look at it. You got Darius Miller, who he says is passive. You got Terrence Jones, who's been timid after the injury. You've got Deron Lamb, and you're always talking about his motor. That's your three veterans. So what does Cal do to get everybody moving as fast as Michael Kidd-Gilchrist? You start doing sprints to the other end. If you don't make it, all of your teammates have to start over, and you get the tempo going that way. It's interesting, very interesting take on how to do it.
The dude is absolutely brilliant. I'm going to miss both of these guys when they retire from coaching. Well, there is a problem at the University of Louisville, and it's those 2 home losses within Big East play. This for a team that was hoping to contend for the Big East title.
So we're very disappointed to lose 2 home games in the Big East with the type of schedule we have is very destructive, to say the least.
I feel like that us as a team, like we've grown from this loss already. Like people know what not to do and when to listen in the huddles and stuff. So we just have to, focus in and listen so we can, win at home and take care of business on the road.
It's much like the SEC in football. I mean, essentially you have to win at home. 100% of the time you have to win at home. Yeah. And you have to steal 1 or 2 on the road if you can to win the title. And Louisville's already lost 2 at home. That's brutal. That's extremely brutal.
When we come back, Howie's going to tell us about a difference maker of the wrong kind. But first, tell us about the CardinalSports.com.
You got it. All this recruiting news that's breaking and updating and all that kind of thing. We've got 3 weeks till signing day for football. Louisville's a big winner in that U.S. Army All-American game. Check it out, CardinalSports.com.
The 2012 Bluegrass Golf Tour Card is available now. Play 8 great courses for one amazing price. Call 502-964-2121 or go to shop21live.com to get yours now. Hurry, they won't last long.
Have you driven a Ford lately? Well, stop by Allstate Ford and test drive a new Edge or Explorer. Or visit us online at allstatetrucks.com. Allstate Ford on the Watterson at Poplar Level Road.
Join the club at Sam Swope Auto Group. When you service a vehicle at any Sam Swope dealership, you automatically become a Service VIP Rewards member. You get member pricing on parts and service, lost key return, and emergency roadside assistance. Plus, you can earn points that qualify you for discounts on your next vehicle purchase, up to $2,500. The best part is becoming a member is free. Become a member today at any Sam Swope dealership. Nobody walks away because everybody saves.
If you're like me, you're dreading the thought of higher energy costs this season. That's why I call my friends at Doug Jones Home Improvement, who's been doing quality work at a fair price for over 40 years. Doug Jones Home Improvement offers maintenance-free replacement windows, insulated vinyl siding, and airtight entry doors. They're priced fairly with no high-pressure sales tactics or hidden fees. Doug Jones Home Improvement prides itself on keeping the weather outside while keeping you comfortable inside. For a free estimate, call us at 366-0291. Kentucky Corner is giving UK fans a new cheer this season. Pink! Think Power Pink when you dress Big Blue this season. Kentucky Corner is the only place to find hot new colors and styles the Big Blue Nation craves.
Polka dot!
Kentucky Corner is in Louisville, Lexington, Ashland, Florence, E-Town, Clarksville, Paducah, and with Kentucky Corner online, there's a Kentucky Corner on your corner.
The 2012 Bluegrass Golf Tour Card featuring Chariot Run, Bardstown Country Club at Maywood, Rosewood Country Club, Indian Springs, Cave Valley Golf Resort, the Falls Golf Resort, the Bull, and Stonecrest Golf Course is available now. Get your golf tour card and play 8 great courses with cart for one low price. Call 502-964-2121 or go to shop21live.com to get yours now. You can play anytime, but you must get your golf tour card now.
Kentucky fans, enjoy your difference makers, Anthony Davis and MKG. You may never see two freshmen like this together ever again.
He just goes and gets his double-double, and Michael just dunks on people and guards everybody and comes up with every loose rebound. We don't even say anything about those two. You imagine that? And those two are like two warriors that we have right now. I'll be honest with you, he's always good because he always plays hard. He always competes at a high level. He goes after every rebound, every ball. He doesn't command. He doesn't whine about not getting the ball offensively. Like today he had 4 shots. Are you kidding me? A kid that plays that hard, wouldn't you complain? Like, give me the ball more? And the other guy that doesn't complain is Anthony Davis. Anthony Davis got 10 shots today, but most of them were dunks. I mean, you know, that's a big number for him to get 10 shots on this team. I just end up every once in a while, I go hug him, give him a kiss and tell him I love him. And that's what else you're going to say to him. They just bring it every time we play.
Talk about two ideal teammates, and you think you know what you're going to get with freshmen, but the way these two are playing and developing, if the rest of the cast comes along, look out come March.
The difference maker at the University of Louisville this past week was a difference maker in the wrong way, that being Russ Smith. You know, he had 30 against Kentucky, but in the loss to Notre Dame, missed 8 of 9 shots, had only 3 points, no assists, and 2 turnovers.
You know, anybody can have an off night, but you can't play defense. You know, 4 or 5 times in a game I told him, just stay solid, just stay solid. But to reach around like that, you know, you're just trying to make a big play because you're not shooting well, and you can't do that. You have to stay solid in your stance. But he learned a valuable lesson, and you hate to take a second home loss to take a valuable lesson.
Russ Smith took a step back in this game, a clear step back both on offense and on defense. He was trying to take too many chances on defense to try to get that big steal, including right there at the end of the game. He tries to kind of go around the back of a player and back tip it. Essentially, he gave the guy a 12-foot jumper wide open, and that was a big play in the game.
Howie, Louisville felt invincible on that court, especially after the Drexel game and after the Kentucky game last year. What's the effect on this team now? What do you think?
I think they've been humbled. I think they have, and they should be able to kind of recover from that and move on.
Well, we're going to be moving on. The Cats and the Cards staying in conference play coming up this week, and we will meet you back here next week talking about Planet Red and Planet Blue right here on the Red and Blue Review.
The 2012 Bluegrass Golf Tour Card featuring Chariot Run, Bardstown Country Club at Maywood, Rosewood Country Club, Indian Springs, Cave Valley Golf Resort, The Falls Golf Resort, The Bull, and Stonecrest Golf Course is available now. Get your golf tour card and play 8 great courses with cart for one low price. Call 502-964-2121 or go to shop21live.com to get yours now. You can play anytime